Joe in real life. So every morning I wake up and I have this sort of dread, this like fear mixed with shame and regret and like just a negative feeling, just an awful negative feeling. It's my first thought of the morning every morning, and there's a dream attached with it, a reoccurring dream that's only, I would say it's partially remembered, but it's 10% or less remembered. And I'll tell you what, it's a hell of an alarm clock, right? It wakes me up and I'm just all stirred up inside. Like I can feel it in my gut, like it's just what are those, like a sinkhole, you know? Um, I couldn't think of anything more clever than that. And I know what it is. Like it's from my relapse because it's happened immediately after my relapse and it hasn't relented. Um, and so to a degree, it's at least understandable. And with it, I have a whole ritual, you know? Like I have this whole thing I do in the morning. And I say every morning, but I've had a reprieve here and there, you know? A couple days a week. It just doesn't bother me, you know? But anyway, I'll wake up, I'll busy myself for a minute doing whatever, like literally just teaching my feet how to work or getting a coffee together, and I'll lay back down. You know, I'll make a coffee and I'll lay down again. And I won't fall back asleep, but I'll kind of half fall asleep. And if I do my ritual correctly, then I get to re-wake up and I don't feel bad, you know? Um, I'm not like fishing for sympathy by saying this because I don't think I'm that unique. I feel like a lot of people have mornings like this, or and if you don't have mornings like this, you have an end of the night like this, you know, where I used to be that way. It was never in the morning. The evening when I try to, I'd be tired, I'd lay my head down, and my brain would just start torturing me, you know, just going through every rotten thing I've ever said or done to anybody for no reason and really making me pay for it. Um, so I don't think it's that special. In fact, I'm certain it's not special at all. And it might be a sign that you have a healthy sense of right and wrong, you know? Like Jiminy Cricket on the shoulder of Pinocchio, your conscience is intact. And that's a good thing, right? I've been thinking about it more and more as we rewatch The Leftovers as a family. And I'll state again, if you haven't watched the Leftovers, do yourself a favor and watch that. It is a hell of a show. Hey, it's okay. Yeah. Just a dog friend visiting me. Yeah. Really, really excellent storytelling. And the cast, while neither unknowns or especially well-known actors, they give fucking performances, man. Like, it must have felt good for them. It must have felt good for them to get a job where they're respected and they're given quality material to work with and they're required to actually act. Liv Tyler's in it, who has never been a good actress. And, like, to be totally fair, she is not great in terms of the cast, but she gives a fucking hell of a performance. Like, it must have felt good. It must have felt good to be, like, not a respected actress and to do a damn good job, you know? But anyway, I'm going off the rails. As I rewatch The Leftovers, I think that the general theme is about resentment. And not resentment towards specific people for specific things, but just the malaise of resentment. And maybe slightly more specifically, resentment against God or fate or nature for things that are outside of your control, for harms that came upon you that feel as though they're random, you know? and like how we as people live with those resentments, what the many strategies might be to deal with them. Some of us ignore them, some of us deny them, some of us go a spiritual route or even a cult route. And some of us go on the attack. Some of us go on the defensive. Like, there are a lot of strategies. That's my point on that one. And what's beautiful about it is none of them work. There's no avoiding it. There's no unhitching yourself from the trailer of resentment. I don't like that metaphor, but I said it, so I gotta stand by it. Also, I'm feeling a little allergy today. It's part of our condition as people to struggle with this problem. And that struggle, that work, which we can never be exonerated from, is beautiful. And yeah, that's where my thoughts are today. Today is my rest day, which means I will squat. And I was going to do something fun in the old-timey strongman world, but I am very sore. I am very tired. And I'm gonna do my 10-pound interval. And I'm gonna go as high as I can for the back squat today. And we're gonna call it. Now I'm gonna do a pause squat in the bottom position. And yeah, man, I'm gonna go past my minimum, I think, if I feel it in my body. And, within reason, go as heavy as I can. Tonight I'm gonna run. I've got speed intervals, long intervals, and I'm really excited. I've been loving the running. The interference principle between my running and my squatting so far, knock on wood, which hasn't been a big deal. I suspect it will become a big deal as my long runs begin exceeding 10 kilometers next week. But I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, man. I ain't worried about it yet. So yeah, I talked for 8 minutes about resentments, and now I'm gonna squat. Stay tuned. I love you, cats. Let's get to it. Woo! That one got fiery on me. I think I upset myself a little bit talking about the kind of hopelessness and yet extreme power of resentment. And I don't know, I got under that bar with a really bad attitude and worked quickly. If those of you who are new to the channel or relatively new, this is a classic workout that I do on kind of down days where I'm just getting my work in, doing nothing crazy, So I start with the bar, I do 1 rep, I add 10 pounds, and I go until I top out, or I hit my daily minimum, which in this case was 185. Today I did a slight variation. I was working the pause squat, so I'm pausing at the bottom. There are a couple of them I skip, and that wasn't for any reason other than I just forgot and kind of bounced out of the bottom. But otherwise I paused every one. This is at roughly 3 times speed, so you can call these pauses somewhere in 3 to 6 second range. They're not strict, just hitting the bottom and surrendering. And man, I think combined with my topic of conversation and the stress that put on my nervous system, I was getting fucking keyed up, man. I was feeling all kinds of snap, crackle, pop, rage ideas just kind of popping around in my head. And, I indulged it today. Well, I guess that's the thing. I leaned into it rather than away from it. Typically, I try to lean away from it because usually when my emotional state is like that, while I'm lifting great, the chances of me doing something dumb and or hurting myself kind of jump, Today, I wasn't as concerned with that. And I think in part it was the structure. I knew I wasn't going to get in trouble with a pause squat. If I got stuck on the bottom, I just roll it off roll it off my back, excuse me. The worst case scenario, you know, I get a little scuffed up. Not really that dangerous. But, you know, full disclosure, it's not a great idea. So anyway, I'm working up to my daily minimum, 185 in this instance, and you'll see all of that in this time lapse. And then I did 195 and 205, and I filmed those for shorts. This wasn't by design either. My headset got messed up, so I had to write around 185, so I kind of fooled with it, and then it stopped the video. Which is, man, that sent me. Dude, I got fucking angry. Mostly because I'm an old man and I'm not learning how to use my technology. So when I just touch my headset, it turns off my recording. And I know that all I had to do was like learn how this thing works. And that shit wouldn't happen. But also, I don't want to. It should just work. And you know, I realize my counter argument against the technology is not a good one, but I just want it to do what I want it to do and nothing else. And every time a new edition comes out, they change the features, and like, I don't want to learn new shit. I just want what I want. I just want the thing that I learned how to use already to work the way it works. So that makes me annoyed. Listen to me bitch today. Wow. But yeah, pause squats, man. Pause squats will get in your nervous system. It's kind of a safer way to get that neurological charge of a max effort movement without actually going above 90%, you know? You come to the bottom. And really what I like to do, I don't relax at the bottom, but I come to a dead stop and I find a mechanical position that's adjacent to a rest posture, you know? And then about a breath's length later, I re-engage the muscles, and kind of like when you see a space shuttle launch, how like there's this giant explosion underneath it and it just seems to like be crawling into the air, you know? And like the force that's pushing out hasn't caught the load of the rocket yet. And so all that momentum is just like flame and noise before the rocket actually starts to fucking really move, you know? And that's how it feels in my body, or at least that's how I like to imagine it. How true is that? I don't know, man. That's what it feels like, so I guess it's true enough. Overall, a great workout. And I got a little negative and I got a little angry, and I kind of took it out on my old man body. But I'm proud of the work. I hit 205 for a pause, which is not a PR. In fact, I think it ties my PR. I might have even hit 215. I've never paused 225 well. I've definitely hit the bottom with 225 and come up a couple times actually, but I've never had what I would consider a pure pause with 225. So that's a goal for me. And honestly, if I haven't been so ragged from a hard week of training, today would have been the day, like kind of for sure. But like knowing it's in the bank and that's something that I'm just going to check off in the future, like it's nearly as good for me, you know? And that's one way in which getting a little older and a little wiser and a little more experience in this iron game is a real advantage. Like, I don't have to carry around that it didn't go exactly the way I wanted to. And, you know, this hateful grudge against the weight, which has no feelings and doesn't care. Because I know I haven't. Like, I definitely haven't. And, like, while not as satisfying, pretty satisfying, you know? So anyway, that's it for today. This is Joe in real life. I love you guys. Be kind to each other out there. I think that was my 185. Yeah, and and I'm putting the 195 on the bar, and you'll see me fucking canoodle around and screw up my my headset, and well, anyway, it's a bummer. It's a real shit in the pants. But I'll see you guys tomorrow.